Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that glorifies noise, distractions, and constant socializing. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful minds in history were those who walked alone? That greatness doesn't always announce itself with a crowd, but often whispers in solitude. If you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in, if you've ever chosen your own path rather than following the masses, then maybe, just maybe, you were born to be a loner. Being a loner isn't a flaw. It's a sign of deep self-awareness and independence. Society often pushes the idea that being social, outgoing, and constantly surrounded by people is the key to happiness. We're told that success comes from networking, that friendships define our worth, and that solitude is something to be avoided. But the truth is, some of the most self-assured, successful, and content individuals are those who have learned to enjoy their own company. A loner is not necessarily someone who dislikes people or avoids interaction. It's someone who has mastered the ability to be alone without feeling lonely. This level of self-awareness is rare because most people are uncomfortable with silence. They seek distractions, social media, unnecessary conversations, constant engagement, because they are afraid of being left with their own thoughts. A loner, however, finds comfort in solitude. They are not dependent on external validation to feel important or fulfilled. When you are at ease with yourself, you don't need the presence of others to feel complete. You don't need a crowded room to feel valued. You find joy in your own thoughts, your own interests, and your own company. This self-awareness allows you to understand what truly matters to you, what drives you, and what brings you peace. While many struggle to find their identity in the opinions of others, a loner discovers who they are in the quiet moments of reflection. Independence naturally follows self-awareness. When you don't rely on the approval of others, you begin to make choices based on what's right for you rather than what's popular. You trust your instincts, your values, and your personal vision. This is why loners often stand out as leaders in their own way. They don't follow the crowd because they have already built a strong internal compass. They don't seek direction from external voices because they have already found their own. This independence isn't just about making decisions alone. It's about the ability to be self-sufficient in every aspect of life. A loner doesn't need constant reassurance to know they're on the right path. They develop resilience because they have learned to handle life's challenges without always leaning on others for emotional or mental support. This isn't to say they don't value relationships, but rather that their sense of self isn't defined by them. In a world that constantly demands attention, a loner's ability to step away and remain centered is a superpower. They don't seek validation through likes, shares, or popularity. They move through life with quiet confidence, knowing that their worth is not dictated by external forces, but by the strength they have cultivated within. If you find peace in your own company, if you are comfortable in solitude, and if you trust yourself enough to walk your own path, understand that this is not a weakness. It is a strength that very few possess. It is a sign that you were born to be a loner. Not because you reject the world, but because you have discovered the power of standing strong within yourself. True growth often happens in silence, where self-discovery and mastery take place. In a world filled with distractions, noise, and endless external influences, it is easy to lose oneself in the chaos. People often seek validation from others, measuring their worth by the opinions of society. They surround themselves with constant stimulation, fearing the quiet moments where they must face themselves. But those who embrace solitude understand that silence is where real transformation begins. When you remove distractions and external pressures, you create space for self-reflection. You begin to ask yourself the important questions. Who am I? What do I truly want? What is my purpose? These are the questions that most people avoid because they require deep introspection. But for those who are comfortable in solitude, these moments of self-examination are not just necessary, they are the foundation of personal growth. Solitude allows you to dive deeper into your own thoughts, emotions, and ambitions. Without the noise of the outside world influencing your every move, you can analyze your strengths, recognize your weaknesses, and refine your vision for the future. This is why some of the most successful and brilliant minds in history have spent significant time alone. They understood that greatness is cultivated in moments of deep concentration, not in the distractions of the crowd. Mastery, whether in a skill, a profession, or personal development, demands focus. And focus thrives in solitude. When you are alone, you eliminate the unnecessary. You are not weighed down by the expectations of others or distracted by fleeting social trends. Instead, you can fully immerse yourself in whatever you are passionate about, allowing yourself to develop at an accelerated rate. Many of the greatest writers, artists, inventors, and thinkers spent countless hours in solitude, not because they were avoiding people, but because they understood that true creativity and innovation are born in silence. Being alone also teaches emotional strength. When you embrace solitude, you learn to process your emotions independently rather than relying on others to navigate your feelings for you. This self-sufficiency builds resilience. You no longer seek external sources to fill emotional voids because you have learned how to handle life's highs and lows on your own terms. You become emotionally intelligent, able to regulate your thoughts and feelings without external interference. Society often equates solitude with loneliness, but the two are not the same. Loneliness is the absence of connection, while solitude is the presence of self-awareness. When you choose solitude, you are choosing to invest in yourself. You are choosing to build discipline, sharpen your mind, and deepen your understanding of the world. Many people are afraid of silence, but those who embrace it become stronger, wiser, and more focused. If you find yourself drawn to moments of solitude, understand that this is not a weakness, it is a gift. It is in these quiet moments that you will grow the most, unlocking your true potential and setting yourself apart from the rest. It's not that you dislike people, you just prefer depth over small talk. In a world where social interactions are often shallow, those who seek meaningful connections stand apart. Most conversations revolve around surface-level topics, trending news, gossip, or meaningless pleasantries. But for those who value depth, such interactions feel empty. They crave discussions that go beyond the ordinary, conversations that challenge their thinking, inspire growth, and spark genuine understanding. When you prioritize meaningful connections, you become highly selective about who you allow into your life. It's not about arrogance or isolation, it's about energy. Every interaction requires emotional and mental investment, and you understand that wasting that investment on relationships that lack depth is draining. You would rather have a few deep, authentic bonds than a large network of acquaintances who do not truly understand you. You may find social gatherings exhausting. It's not that you can't engage in small talk, it's just that it doesn't fulfill you. You would rather sit down with someone and discuss their dreams, their struggles, their fears, and their vision for the future. You want to know what drives them, what keeps them awake at night, and what they are passionate about. You want to connect on a level that goes beyond the superficial because that is where true relationships are built. People who seek meaningful connections are often great listeners. You don't just hear what people say, you understand what they mean. You pay attention to details, to emotions, to the things left unsaid. This level of attentiveness makes you someone that others trust deeply, but it also means you expect the same level of authenticity in return. You do not have time for fake friendships, empty words, or relationships based on convenience rather than true connection. This mindset also makes you highly independent. You don't feel the need to surround yourself with people just for the sake of company. You are comfortable being alone because you know that forced interactions will never bring the same fulfillment as an honest, meaningful relationship. You are not afraid of solitude because you understand that true connection is rare and worth waiting for. This can make you feel like an outsider. The world moves fast, and people often prioritize quantity over quality in their relationships. They chase attention rather than understanding, and they surround themselves with people just to avoid being alone. But you know better. You know that real relationships, whether friendships, mentorships, or romantic partnerships, are built on trust, depth, and authenticity. This selectiveness is not a flaw. It is a strength. It means that when you do form connections, they are genuine and long-lasting. You don't waste time on empty relationships, and you don't settle for anything less than meaningful. It may take longer to find the right people, but when you do, the bond will be unshakable. If you often feel disconnected from surface-level socializing, understand that it's because you are meant for something deeper. And those who seek depth will always find their way to others who feel the same. You don't wait for approval, you don't wait for someone to hold your hand. You take charge of your own life, make your own decisions, and carve your own destiny. Independence is one of the most defining traits of a loner, not because they reject society, but because they trust themselves more than external influences. Many people rely on the opinions of others before making decisions. They hesitate, seek validation, and fear taking action without approval. But a true loner operates differently. They move forward based on their own judgment, instincts, and logic. They are not controlled by trends, peer pressure, or societal expectations. Instead, they define their own path, even if that means walking alone. This kind of independence comes from a deep sense of self-awareness. A loner knows who they are, what they believe in, and what they want out of life. Because of this, they don't need constant reassurance from others. They are not easily swayed by popular opinions or temporary influences. Their strength comes from within, and that makes them unshakable. A loner is also highly self-sufficient. They don't depend on others to solve their problems, motivate them, or guide their every step. If something needs to be done, they do it. If a challenge arises, they face it head on. This self-reliance makes them highly disciplined and responsible. While many people wait for opportunities, loners create their own. They don't waste time hoping for external circumstances to align. They take action. This independence extends beyond decision-making and into emotional resilience. While many seek constant companionship to feel secure, a loner finds comfort within themselves. They don't need distractions or constant social interactions to feel at peace. They have mastered the ability to enjoy their own company, which means they are never truly alone, even when physically by themselves. Loners often appear confident and composed. They don't seek external validation, nor do they crumble under the weight of criticism. They understand that no one else is responsible for their happiness or success. Only they are. This mindset gives them an edge in both personal and professional life. They can work alone without losing focus, pursue their passions without needing approval, and overcome setbacks without falling apart. Being independent also means setting boundaries. A loner does not allow others to dictate their life. They don't tolerate toxic relationships, meaningless social obligations, or situations that drain their energy. They know their worth and have no problem walking away from anything that does not align with their values. This level of independence is rare, but it is powerful. It is what separates those who follow from those who lead. It is what allows a person to remain true to themselves, no matter the circumstances. If you find yourself making your own way in life, trusting your own instincts, and standing firm in your decisions, understand that this is not loneliness, it is strength. And that strength will take you further than the approval of 1,000 voices ever could. While others drift from one trend to another, you move with intention. You have goals, you have dreams, and you don't need an audience to chase them. That's the mindset of someone who is truly self-motivated. Many people rely on external forces to push them forward. Validation from others, deadlines set by employers, or encouragement from peers. But a loner operates differently. Their drive comes from within, and that makes them unstoppable. A person with a strong sense of purpose does not waste time on meaningless distractions. They are not easily swayed by temporary trends or societal pressures because they have a clear vision of what they want to achieve. This kind of focus is rare in a world where people are constantly influenced by outside noise. A loner filters out the unnecessary and hones in on what truly matters. They are not concerned with impressing others or keeping up with the latest social expectations. Instead, they devote their time and energy to their mission. This deep sense of purpose also makes loners incredibly disciplined. Without someone constantly pushing them, they take responsibility for their own growth and success. They set their own standards and hold themselves accountable. While others procrastinate or wait for the right moment, a loner takes action. They understand that progress is made in the quiet hours, in the effort no one sees, and in the persistence that continues long after motivation fades. Loners often excel in their fields. Whether in creative pursuits, business, academics, or personal development, they achieve great things because they are not easily distracted. They don't need a crowd cheering them on or a mentor constantly reminding them to stay on track. Their purpose is their motivation, and that kind of internal drive cannot be shaken by setbacks or failures. This mindset also affects how they approach challenges. While many people crumble under pressure or seek external solutions, a loner views obstacles as opportunities to grow. They embrace difficulty, knowing that every challenge is a lesson that brings them closer to mastery. Their ability to remain focused and determined, even in the face of adversity, sets them apart. Another defining trait of a person with a strong sense of purpose is their unwillingness to settle. They do not conform to what society deems acceptable if it does not align with their vision. They would rather walk alone on the path that feels right than follow a crowd heading in the wrong direction. This can sometimes make them seem distant or different, but in reality, it is a sign of great inner strength. If you have ever felt like you are on a mission greater than what most people around you understand, then you know what it means to have purpose. You don't need permission to pursue your goals, and you don't wait for approval to chase what matters to you. That kind of focus is rare, but it is also what leads to success. Stay on your path, because the world needs more people who move with intention, not just with the crowd. You observe more than you speak. You listen more than you react. While the world rushes to voice opinions, you take a step back, analyze, and absorb. This ability to observe rather than constantly engage is a rare strength, one that allows you to see what others miss. Most people are in a constant rush to speak, to be heard, to express their thoughts before fully understanding a situation. They fill silences with words, often without thinking deeply about what they are saying. But you understand the value of silence. You know that there is more power in listening than in simply reacting. This makes you more aware of your surroundings, more in tune with people's true intentions, and more capable of making well-informed decisions. When you are an observer, you notice details that others overlook. You pick up on body language, tone, and the subtle shifts in a person's expression. You recognize the difference between what someone says and what they actually mean. This ability allows you to navigate social situations with precision. You can sense when someone is being genuine, when they are hiding something, or when they are saying what they think others want to hear. This skill also makes you highly strategic because you do not rush to speak. You take the time to process information, analyze patterns, and think before responding. This is a powerful trait in both personal and professional life. While others may react emotionally or impulsively, you respond with clarity and purpose. This often gives you an advantage, whether in conversations, negotiations, or problem solving. Being an observer does not mean you are passive. Quite the opposite. It means you are always learning. You study human behavior, understand how people think, and use that knowledge to your benefit. You are not easily manipulated or deceived because you see beyond words. You recognize patterns in people's actions, making it difficult for anyone to mislead you. This deep sense of awareness also makes you highly self-reflective. You don't just observe others, you observe yourself. You analyze your own thoughts, emotions, and reactions, constantly learning and improving. This kind of introspection leads to personal growth and wisdom, qualities that set you apart from those who move through life without truly understanding themselves. People may see you as mysterious or reserved. They may wonder why you don't speak as often, why you don't engage in every conversation, or why you prefer to step back and observe. What they don't realize is that you are constantly processing, thinking, and understanding at a level that most do not. In a world that rewards loudness, your quiet strength is your greatest asset. Your ability to listen, analyze, and understand before acting makes you not only intelligent, but also highly respected. So, while others rush to fill the silence, you continue to watch, learn, and master the art of awareness, and that is what truly sets you apart. The world often misunderstands those who walk alone, labeling them as distant, antisocial, or different. But the truth is, being a loner is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is the mark of someone who knows themselves, someone who does not need the validation of the crowd to find their purpose, someone who thrives in solitude because they have mastered the art of self-reliance. You don't seek approval because you trust your own judgment. You don't waste time on meaningless interactions because you crave depth and authenticity. You are not distracted by trends or temporary influences because your focus is built on something stronger: purpose. While others speak just to be heard, you observe, you listen, and you learn. And in that silence, you cultivate wisdom, strength, and resilience. Being a loner does not mean rejecting people. It means being selective about where you invest your time and energy. It means standing firm in who you are, even if that means standing alone. It means having the courage to carve your own path without waiting for permission or applause. If you have ever felt like you don't quite fit in, if you have ever found peace in solitude while others fear it, If you have ever chosen purpose over popularity, understand this. You were not meant to follow. You were born to lead, not through noise, but through quiet strength. The world belongs to those who are bold enough to stand alone, move with intention, and trust in the power of their own mind. And if that describes you, then embrace it. Because you were born to be a loner, and that is a gift, not a limitation. So if any of this resonates with you, don't fight it, embrace it, because the road less traveled is often the one that leads to greatness. Thank you.